Donald Trump's reaction to being subpoenaed revealed. Donald Trump has been in the news constantly throughout his political career. And well, things are just getting worse for him. He's just received a subpoena from Robert Mueller, and he's not happy about it. In this video, we're going to be doing a complete rundown on what's going on with Donald Trump, the case, the subpoena, and his reaction to it, to get you up to speed on the entire situation. So let's jump into it. All of this first began when Donald Trump lost the 2020 elections after being extremely confident that things were going to go his way. One thing led to another, and suddenly it seemed like the former president wasn't going to take the election results lightly. He was livid. He started throwing around statements saying the results were fraudulent and just tried to delegitimize the election results overall over and over again until he finally had to officially leave the office. Soon after, there was massive political unrest because there was constant egging on by the former president, claiming that the results were totally unfair and that he should be the one in office, not Biden. One thing led to another, and things got so bad that on January 6th, the Capitol building was stormed by people with weapons. And well, things got really bad really fast. Major political figures like AOC came out and publicly said that several of the guards, the workers, and the general public were all chanting their support for Donald Trump while they were scared for their lives. Eventually, the Department of Justice launched an official investigation into Donald Trump and his involvement. Things have simply been spiraling ever since. One of Donald Trump's properties was searched back in August, and it was found that he had removed 11,000 documents from the White House while he was leaving. 100 of them were classified documents. The main issue at hand is that it's said that Trump was supplying information to enemies of the nation for a price. Whether he's actually used these documents or who's had access to it are questions that are yet to be answered. But this one discovery means that the initial question of was Donald Trump working with Russia comes back up. Could they have strategically installed Trump as the US president for their own gain? While that question was on everyone's lips, Trump was appalled by the whole thing. He reacted by calling the whole thing a witch hunt. On one hand, Trump has argued that not only are the documents in his home useless because they're protected by privilege and can't be used in courts, but the classified documents were unclassified by him while he was still in office. However, he didn't provide enough proof to back up his claims. So far, they're simply claims and nothing else. If it's proven that Donald Trump did illegally remove those documents from the White House and use them for malicious purposes, he might be in for a lot of jail time, if not worse. But what exactly is going on there? Well, while this entire files fiasco is being investigated, there are also two investigations that are supposed to examine the Trump Organization as a whole. The organization has spent decades in the industry. If they've been this confident in taking files, knowing that they'd be caught sooner or later, what else have they been doing the entire time they have had access to several pieces of important information during their years in office? Letitia James, who's the New York Attorney General, has been leading the civil case against his organization. While this particular case won't lead to criminal charges, there will be damages to deal with, and she's going at that case with a fine-tooth comb. Everything is in question, from Trump's estates to the time he spent on golf courses. Every single dollar, every single trip is being looked at. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is also leading his own investigation into the organization from New York. So it's basically lawyers coming at Trump from all sides. Throughout this section of the investigation, Donald Trump has said time and time again that no one, including him, operated illegally during their time in politics. Not even once. Now, you see, Donald Trump is a powerful man. Even with federal judges coming at him from all sides, he's got several ways to make it extremely difficult for the other party to keep coming at him. Let's just say he's pulled out all the stops. He wanted to put a stop into the investigations into the documents and everything. Judge Eileen Cannon ordered that the investigation be halted until a special master is brought in on the case. A special master is a person who has legal and/or technical expertise to sit with the judge on the case itself and assist them in bringing it to closure. A call for this means that until a suitable person is appointed, nothing else will happen. This step caused a lot of outrage too. People were claiming that the judge purposefully called for something that would slow down the proceedings so Donald Trump would have more time to prepare for the overall case, so he would know exactly where to tread and when. Now, the thing is, even though this is a seemingly unnecessary step, there's no way to prove malicious intent here. The judge may simply need the help to go over such a massive case. The real problem for Donald Trump is the fact that the Department of Justice is trying to figure out any link that Trump may have had to the January 6th events. And if he's ever tried to do anything to actually overturn the election, is a whole different ballgame. On the 2nd of January 2021, there was a phone call between Donald Trump and one of the state's election officials. A regular call would have still been an eyebrow raiser, but this was no regular call. One of the things Trump said to him was, "I just want to find 11,780 votes." That was the exact number of votes Trump needed to swing the election his way. This seemed to have been the final straw the investigators needed to finally take things to the next level. They've officially subpoenaed former President Donald Trump. While Donald Trump has been giving statements about the case this entire time, none of it has been under oath. They've all just been rogue statements that don't really mean anything legally. When it's a subpoena, things are a lot different. Now, Donald Trump is legally required to show up and give testimony under oath. Everything he says will actually be legally binding, which also means that if he says the wrong thing or discloses information that wasn't public yet, it'll all be on record. You were at the center of the first and only effort by any U.S. president to overturn an election and obstruct the peaceful transfer of power. The evidence demonstrates that you knew this activity was illegal. Not only that, but the subpoena also includes that he has to hand over any and all documents that he might still have access to that he removed from office when he left. This doesn't just mean the documents that were found earlier. It also includes any documents that the investigators haven't been able to find yet. If he doesn't, and such files are found later on, it could spiral into a much bigger problem for Trump later on. He's supposed to turn over the documents by November 4th and appear in court 10 days later for his official testimony. Instead of giving a straight yes or no response to the subpoena, Donald Trump replied with a 14-page document instead. And well, in true Trump fashion, it talks about everything but the actual demands of the subpoena. Not only does he keep his main focus on belittling the January 6th committee and talking about how big of a crowd he's been able to pull during his rallies, talking about how it's not possible that he's lost the election with the number of people that were there to support him, even going as far as to add pictures in the document itself. What's even crazier is the fact that one of the pictures shows the crowd of people who later stormed into the Capitol on January 6th. Not only that, but he called the election dishonest, the committee unselected, and pretty much sticks to his earlier statements without ever talking about whether or not he'd actually be there on November 14th. This case has been slowly building up for years, and from the looks of it, it's only the tip of the iceberg. As time goes on, more and more tiny details come to light that show that Donald Trump might have had more to do with the political unrest of the country than we might have originally thought. But how things will unfold overall will be something we'd have to wait and see in the weeks ahead. And on that note, we'll wrap up this video. What do you think about everything that's happened so far? Based on Trump's responses, do you think he'll actually show up at court? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this. We'll see you in the next one.